Jade had looked forward to her proposal ever since she hit 142 pounds. Exactly what her boyfriend of 3 years, James, wanted. Not too slim, not too thick, just perfect. And she was ready to walk down the aisle with a smile, ready to say yes when he proposed today. But in a blink, her boyfriend dropped to one knee and faced Vanessa, Jade's best friend. "Will you marry me, Vanessa?" Absurd, right? I know. Welcome back to Endless Love Stories. Before we dive into Jade's story, please smash that subscribe button, because what happens next will ruin everything you thought you knew about love and loyalty. The ring box opens. Pear-cut diamond, flawless, catching every light. Vanessa's gasp sounds rehearsed. Jade watches her best friend's left hand extend, watches the ring slide on without hesitation, watches 200 phones capture the moment her entire world folds in on itself. Someone starts clapping. Then everyone is clapping, because what else do you do when a man humiliates his own girlfriend in public and proposes to her best friend? When the applause dies, Jade steps between them. Tears were streaming down her face. Why? Why what? James asks with a chuckle. I know I asked you to lose weight so I could find you more attractive, but don't you think you took it a little too far? His hand finds Vanessa's waist, pulling her close, while he caresses her behind, and his meaning is crystal clear. I mean, look at you. You look like you're going to be blown away by the wind. But on the bright side, I did you a favor, really. Now you're finally exotic enough to turn heads, but light enough to bring home. Best of both worlds, right? 3 years of bitter weight loss supplements. 3 years of intermittent fasting. 3 years of altering her body for a man who fetishized her, for being black and Asian in the exact proportions he found convenient. And he proposed to a woman with the very physique he'd claimed to find unattractive. We're done, Jade, James says loudly, voice carrying across the rooftop. At least now you fit the Asian body type, even if you're colored. The room bursts into laughter. Every laugh feels like standing on hot coals. Jade's heels click against marble as she walks toward the exit. Steady, controlled. She will not run. Behind her, Vanessa's voice cuts through applause. Jade, wait. She doesn't. The proposal video goes live before Jade reaches her apartment. 60,000 views in an hour. Comments flood in like sewage. She thought she was special. LMAO. That's what happens when you're mid. The friend is way hotter, to be honest. Her phone dies at 4 a.m. She doesn't charge it. Morning comes whether she's ready or not. Jade pulls herself together with mechanical precision, foundation 2 shades lighter than her warm brown skin. The shade that photographs better in corporate settings, her natural curls smoothed and pinned into submission, pencil. Skirt and blazer like armor against a world that never quite knows what box to put her in. The office lobby feels different, or maybe she's different and the lobby knows. Karen from marketing pretends to check her phone when Jade enters the elevator. 2 junior analysts go silent mid-conversation. On the 7th floor, Jade's manager intercepts her before she reaches her desk. HR wants to see you. The HR office smells like vanilla air freshener and bad decisions. Patricia, the HR, sits behind her desk, laptop angled away, voice calibrated to corporate sympathy. Ms. Jade Lee, we're aware of the incident. It was personal, Jade says. It has nothing to do with my work. Of course. Patricia's smile doesn't reach her eyes. But optics matter. Several clients follow you on social media. We need to be mindful of reputation risk. Reputation risk. As if Jade humiliated herself. As if she chose this. I understand, Jade says, because what else is there to say? Good. We're glad you're being reasonable. Patricia closes her laptop with a soft click. Your visa sponsorship review is coming up soon. Let's make sure there are no complications. The threat lands exactly as intended. Jade returns to her desk. opens her workstation, dives into code like it's the only language that makes sense anymore, because right now it is. Vanessa appears at lunch. Designer bag, expensive perfume, diamond-catching fluorescent light. She slides into the seat across from Jade in the cafeteria. I need to explain. You don't. He promised me it wasn't going to happen like that. Vanessa's voice cracks perfectly. Jade, you have to believe me. Jade takes a bite of her sandwich. Chews, swallows. Congratulations on the engagement. She stands and walks away before Vanessa can respond. Back at her desk, Jade's phone rings. Jade Lee, line 2. It's Greg, her supervisor, voice tight with panic. Conference room, now. The conference room is already full. IT director, security lead. Greg is pacing near the window. On the screen behind him, her access credentials flagged in red, breach origin timestamps, system instability warnings. We're evacuating the building, the IT director says. Security protocol for potential data compromise. Jade's mouth goes dry. What happened? Malicious scripts, triggered 41 minutes ago. Point of origin traces to your workstation. Greg finally meets her eyes. We need to secure all systems. An alarm cuts through the room. Not fire. Worse, critical system failure. Customer data at risk. Production servers compromised. People move toward exits, grabbing bags, following evacuation protocol. Greg steps into Jade's path. You stay. What? If you even think of leaving this building, I will file a report with immigration tonight. Your visa ends before sunrise. He glances at the emptying room. Or you fix whatever it is you did. But I didn't do anything. Then prove it. His smile is surgical. You're brilliant, right? So be brilliant. The last employee exits. The door clicks shut. Jade sits, opens her laptop. The breach logs paint a picture of systematic sabotage, her credentials, her timestamps, her digital fingerprints everywhere. The clock reads 2:51 p.m. By 9:30 p.m., if systems aren't stabilized, automated protocols will flag the breach to regulatory agencies, and her visa sponsorship dies with the notification. 6 hours and 9 minutes. She pulls up the malicious code, studies the architecture, starts tracing execution paths through the system, isolating infected nodes, and building containment protocols. Jade freezes. The coding style is familiar, elegant, nested commands, specific comment syntax. She's seen this before, taught it to many juniors, but she only gave the advanced coding style to one person. The lady Jade mentored on the Jenkins project during her internship, Vanessa. Jade refuses to believe Vanessa would do such a thing, so her hands shake as she pulls up the access logs. VPN credentials. Deactivated 8 months ago when Vanessa's internship ended. Except they're active now and they were reactivated by the same supervisor who asked her to fix the mistake she caused. Jade's stomach drops as she sees the reactivation timeline. 3 weeks ago. That was right after James started positioning himself on the investment board. Why would Greg deliberately give Vanessa backdoor access? Unless this was part of a much bigger plan, just like the humiliation at the proposal. Jade closes her eyes, breathes. Then she gets to work. Because she has 6 hours to stop a system collapse, clear her name, and save a career she spent 4 years building in a country that could deport her for crimes she didn't commit. Her fingers start moving across the keyboard. Fast, precise, relentless. She isolates the malicious scripts, traces their execution paths, begins building containment protocols that will stabilize the system without triggering additional cascades. The breach is elegant, professional, almost beautiful in its architecture. But Jade knows these systems better than anyone. She built half of them, fixed the other half when no one else could, and she's not going down without a fight. Somewhere above her, in an office most employees have never seen, a man in a wheelchair watches 3 monitors simultaneously. One shows Jade's workstation activity. One shows building security feeds. One shows internal communications lighting up with panic. He makes a single notation in a leather-bound journal. Then he wheels toward the elevator. 4 hours in, Jade's vision blurs. The conference room coffee went cold an hour ago. Her fingers ache. The breach is contained but not solved, like holding back a flood with her bare hands while searching for the source. The rage helps, keeps her focused, but she needs a bathroom break. The elevator arrives with a soft chime. She steps inside with eyes half closed, hits the button for the 3rd floor, and leans against the mirrored wall. Closes her eyes for just a second. The elevator lurches, then stops. Jade's eyes snap open. The floor indicator flickers between 3 and 4. Emergency lighting kicks in, bathing everything in dim red. "You've got to be kidding me." She reaches for the emergency call button. "I wouldn't." The voice is male, calm, somewhere behind her. Jade spins. A man sits in a wheelchair near the corner she hadn't checked. Mid-40s, sharp features, expensive watch, eyes that catalog everything. He wears a tailored shirt with no company badge. Hands folded in his lap like he's been waiting. "Who are you?" "Executive staff." He tilts his head slightly, studying her face with an intensity that makes her want to check if her makeup has smudged. "And you're Jade Lee, senior systems engineer, 4 years with the company, H-1B visa sponsored through the tech worker program." Her blood goes cold. "How do you know that?" "I make it my business to know who keeps the lights on." He gestures toward the emergency panel. "The elevator will restart in approximately 8 minutes. Mechanical safety protocol. We have time." "Time for what?" "A conversation." He wheels slightly closer. "You've been working alone in a conference room for 4 hours. Most employees would have left, called a lawyer, documented everything for HR. Most employees aren't facing a breach that came from their credentials or workstation, or deportation threats." "No, they're not." Something shifts in his expression. Concern, maybe. "But did you cause it?" "No, I didn't." Her answer comes swiftly. "Do you know who did it?" She hesitates. The elevator hums around them. Red emergency lighting painting everything in shades of desperation. "A previous intern," Jade says quietly, "using credentials that should have been deleted when her internship ended. But somehow my supervisor activated them 3 weeks ago." He nods slowly, unsurprised. "Any idea why?" Jade sighs. "Maybe because he's been trying to get promoted for 2 years. Jade's jaw tightens. "Or maybe James did something when he joined the board 3 weeks ago. Whatever it is, the timing isn't a coincidence." "You think there's a connection?" Her voice is steady despite the rage underneath. "Connection or a pattern, maybe. It's baseless if there's no proof, just assumptions based on patterns. Patterns rarely lie." He pulls a tablet from the side pocket of his wheelchair, swipes through screens with practiced efficiency. "I've been reviewing system logs for the past 6 months. There's a pattern. Small fixes, quiet interventions, problems that disappear before they escalate." He turns the tablet toward her. Her work, authorization timestamps, patch deployments, security updates she submitted at midnight, during weekends, after everyone else went home. A digital record of 4 years spent holding systems together while people, like Greg, took credit. Jade's pulse hammers. "You seem very informed for someone who just happened to be in a stalled elevator." His smile is small. Acknowledgement without apology. "I told you. I've been away too long. Came back to see what the company became in my absence." He gestures toward the tablet. "Most employees haven't seen me in months. I wanted to understand who actually runs things when leadership isn't looking. And I found you." His voice is quiet. "Doing work that should have earned you a director position by now. But instead, you're still senior engineer, while men like Greg Morrison fail upward on your labor. The accuracy stings worse than if he'd been cruel about it. You're protecting someone else right now, aren't you? He continues. I saw the logs. There's a junior analyst, David Park, whose credentials show up adjacent to the breach window. Routine maintenance? Completely innocent. But immigration won't care about innocence when they're looking for patterns. Jade's jaw tightens. How do you? Because if you were purely self-interested, you would have submitted complete evidence hours ago. Cleared yourself entirely. Let the investigation destroy whoever it touches. He leans forward slightly. But you didn't. You're building a case that protects him while leaving yourself vulnerable. Why? Because he didn't do anything wrong. Neither did you. I can survive being wrong in people's eyes. He can't. His visa expires in 8 months. One flag on his record and he's gone. Jade's voice cracks slightly. I've been here for 4 years. I have networks, backup plans. He has parents in Seoul who sold their apartment to send him here. A little sister who wants to study medicine at UCLA because her brother proved it was possible. She meets the man's eyes. I won't let him pay for someone else's issues. The elevator is silent except for the mechanical hum of safety protocols engaging. Most people would choose self-preservation, he says finally. Most people haven't spent 4 years being invisible while everyone else takes credit. Jade's exhaustion is a weight pressing down on her shoulders. What's one more sacrifice? It's not a sacrifice if it destroys you. Maybe I'm already destroyed. Maybe I'm just deciding what's worth protecting in the wreckage. They both go quiet, and the next minute, the elevator begins moving again. He wheels toward the exit as the doors open. Wait, Jade calls. I didn't get your name? He doesn't answer. The door's closed. Jade rides down alone, breathing hard, trying to process what just happened. All through the bathroom break, she keeps replaying the conversation, analyzing every word like code. Then she returns to the conference room, to her laptop, to the breach that's consuming her life. 1 hour and 8 minutes left. Jade opens the code, dives deeper than before. Somewhere 4 floors above, the man in the wheelchair enters an office with floor-to-ceiling windows. He sets his tablet on a mahogany desk, pulls up a secure line, and makes a call. It's me, he says. Flag the Lee case as a priority internal review. Hold all immigration reports pending my authorization. And get me everything on Gregory Morrison and Mr. James. Every email, every expense report, every decision they've made. A pause. Because if she's been covering for institutional rot this whole time, I need to know exactly how deep it goes. In the conference room, Jade isolates a new infection vector. Her breath catches. The malicious code has a secondary trigger. Dormant. Set to activate in 72 hours if the primary breach is resolved. This wasn't just about framing her. This was about creating ongoing instability with her name written as the main cause. Jade opens a new file, begins documenting everything. Not just the breach, the conspiracy, the coordinated attack. The secondary trigger was designed to justify institutional purges. Jade hit submit at 8:47 p.m. The partial evidence uploads to the secure server 13 minutes before the regulatory deadline. System logs showing breach origin, her containment protocols, timestamps proving she fixed what she didn't break. Carefully edited to exclude David Park's routine maintenance access. Just enough truth to clear her name without destroying an innocent person. She leans back in the conference room chair. Her shoulders ache, eyes burn from staring at code for 6 straight hours. She did it. Her phone buzzes. IT director. Systems are green. Good work. Go home. Jade closes her laptop, gathers her things. The building is still empty, emergency protocols still active. Her heels echo through vacant hallways as she heads for the exit, unaware of Greg Morrison slipping into the conference room 30 seconds after. The next morning comes with all the subtlety of a funeral. Jade checks her phone before she's fully awake, a habit she hates but can't break. 17 missed calls from numbers she doesn't recognize. The proposal video has hit 3 million views, spawning response videos and think pieces. One thumbnail shows her face with the caption, "When keeping it real goes wrong." She ignores all of it. Showers. Straightens her natural curls into corporate submission one more time, though part of her wonders why she's still performing respectability for people who've already decided what she is. The office feels different today. People don't just whisper, they stare. Karen from marketing sees Jade in the break room, turns around, and walks out without getting her coffee. The junior analysts she mentored, the ones she stayed late helping with code reviews and job applications, suddenly find their shoes fascinating when she passes their desks. At her workstation, Jade tries to log in. Access denied. She tries again. Same result. Her stomach drops. The desk phone rings. HR again. "Jade, please come down." Patricia sits behind her desk, laptop angled just slightly away, face arranged into professional neutrality. "We've reviewed the incident report," Patricia says, fingers poised above her keyboard like she's documenting this conversation in real time. "Mr. Gregg submitted a comprehensive analysis last night. According to his account, he directed the breach response remotely while you assisted." Jade's jaw tightens. "Excuse me? That's not what happened." Patricia turns the laptop screen just enough for Jade to see Gregg's falsified report. Formatted perfectly, corporate language wrapping, lies and bureaucratic ribbon. "Your system access has been frozen pending investigation. Additionally, your visa sponsorship review has been flagged for security concerns." The room tilts. Flagged? Standard protocol for data breach incidents involving foreign nationals. Patricia closes the laptop with a soft click. The sound feels final. "Immigration Services will be notified within 72 hours unless the investigation clears you completely. I fixed the breach. I saved the..." Whether that constitutes heroism or liability is still being determined. Patricia stands, signaling the conversation is over. "We'll be in touch." Jade walks back to her desk in a fog. Her monitor is dark, workstation locked. 4 years of work. Late nights, weekend deployments, quiet fixes that kept everything running while people like Gregg benefited from work that she did. How was he able to get such a report of her work in the first place? David Park appears at her shoulder, 24 years old, perpetually anxious about his visa status, always asking if he's doing enough, working hard enough, being good enough. He keeps his voice low. "Jade, what happened? They're saying you..." "Don't." She looks around. Every conversation has paused. People are watching. "Don't associate with me right now. It's not safe." His face crumples. "But you didn't..." "I know what I didn't do. That's not what matters." She forces herself to meet his eyes, sees the fear there, the calculation. The same look she's seen in mirrors for 4 years. The constant awareness that one mistake could cost everything. "Keep your head down. Focus on your work. Don't let them drag you into this." He nods slowly, walks away with his shoulders hunched like he's trying to take up less space, like making himself smaller will make him safer. Jade sits at her locked workstation, staring at the blank screen, feeling the weight of every gaze in the office pressing down like a physical force. Her phone buzzes. "Vanessa, can we please talk? I'm worried about you." Jade should delete it, should block the number, should protect herself from whatever fresh betrayal is being packaged as concern. Instead, she opens her email, starts drafting a message to a lawyer, provided by the company. She needs to understand what her legal options are before the 72-hour clock runs out. Before she can hit send, her phone explodes with notifications. A new video, posted 19 minutes ago, already going viral. Jade clicks the link with hands that have gone numb. Vanessa sits in what looks like someone's office, natural light streaming through windows, Tissues in hand, eyes red from crying as she confesses to whoever was at the other side of the desk. "I don't know how to say this," Vanessa begins, voice breaking in all the right places. "Jade has been my best friend for years. I loved her. I trusted her. But after the engagement..." She stops, wipes her eyes with practiced precision. "I can't believe she did it. I can't believe she sabotaged her company because she was angry and blamed it on me." The video cuts to screenshots, text messages Jade never sent, login timestamps showing Vanessa's old credentials being accessed. But the timestamps are doctored, showing Jade's IP address instead of Vanessa's apartment. "She's becoming aggressive," Vanessa continues, and there it is, the word that gets black women fired, arrested, killed. Her energy is just intense, intimidating. What if she does something worse? Jade couldn't bear to watch the video to the end. Her eyes drifted to the comment section. Comments flood in faster than Jade can read them. "I knew something was off about her. This is what jealousy does to people. Aggressive? Yeah, that tracks. The company needs to press charges. Deport her immediately before she does something worse." Jade's hands shake. She tries to access her work logs, the ones that would prove the timestamps are fabricated, but her credentials are frozen. She tries her personal backups, but half the files won't open. They're now corrupted. Her desk phone rings. "Ms. Lee, this is building security. We need you to come to the main office to collect your personal belongings." "Why?" "You're being escorted from the building. HR's orders." The call disconnects. Jade stands. The office has gone completely silent. Everyone is watching. David stares at his screen, face pale, hands frozen over his keyboard like he's afraid any movement will draw attention. She sees it in his expression. The fear, the calculation, the realization that proximity to her has become a liability he can't afford. Security arrives. They walk her through the office like she's committed a crime, past the conference room where she saved the company, past coworkers who won't meet her eyes, the past 4 years of invisible work that kept systems running. In the lobby, they hand her a cardboard box, the desk plant that David gave her last Christmas, her coffee mug with the coding joke that stopped being funny 2 years ago, a framed photo of her college graduation, parents beaming on either side of her, before America taught her that brilliance doesn't matter if people decide you're threatening. "Your final paycheck will be processed within 2 weeks. HR will contact you regarding visa status." Jade walks out into the hot sun that feels like mockery, gets in her car, drives 3 blocks before the shaking gets so bad that she has to pull over. She parks in an empty garage, sits in silence, finally lets herself break. Her phone buzzes twice, one from an unknown number who has been texting her anonymously, and another from the company. "Ms. Jade Lee, this is HR. We need to schedule an interview with David Park regarding his system access during the breach window. Please confirm you had no communication with Mr. Park about the incident." Jade's stomach drops. Her choice to protect him didn't matter. They're targeting him anyway. She stares at her phone, at the HR message demanding she confirm she didn't communicate with David, a trap designed to either implicate him or make her lie under investigation. Another text comes through, this time from David. "HR wants to see me tomorrow morning. They're asking about the breach. Jade, what do I do? My credentials are in the logs. I don't understand what's happening." Her hands shake so hard she almost drops the phone. Jade closes her eyes, breathes, then holds the evidence that could save one, but not both of them. And she wonders, what should she do? "But before I tell you Jade's decision, I want your unfiltered truth. What would you have done in this scenario?" I'm in the comments. Jade doesn't go home. She drives to a coffee shop 3 miles from her apartment, the kind with terrible Wi-Fi and customers who mind their business. She needs to think, needs space between her and the walls of her apartment that suddenly feel like they're closing in. She orders black coffee and opens her laptop. The full evidence sits on her encrypted drive. Everything she didn't submit last night. Complete access logs. Jade's cursor hovers over the file. One click. Upload to her lawyer. Submit to immigration services. Clear her name entirely. Her visa gets reinstated. Her reputation gets restored. Her career is saved. And David Park gets flagged as a security risk. His visa review gets expedited. Immigration sees a foreign national with system access during a breach window and makes assumptions that facts won't overcome. He's on a plane to Seoul within 30 days, explaining to his parents why years of their savings just evaporated. She is still thinking when her phone rings. Ms. Lee, this is Daniel Wright with Immigration Services. I spoke with you yesterday regarding your visa review. Her stomach clenches. I remember. I'm calling with an update. Your employer filed additional documentation this morning. Papers rustle in the background. Given the severity, you now have 48 hours to provide evidence clearing you of all allegations. After that, your work authorization is immediately suspended pending deportation proceedings. Mr. Wright, I have evidence that proves... Jade replies immediately. Evidence must be submitted through official channels with legal counsel present. You'll receive formal instructions via email within the hour. His voice is bureaucratic. I'd strongly recommend securing representation immediately. The line goes dead. Jade sets her phone down carefully, stares at her laptop screen, at the evidence that could save her. Her email pings. The lawyer, Patterson, with a subject line in all caps, "Urgent, call me." Jade calls. Ms. Lee, I just got notification of the accelerated timeline. Patterson's voice is sharp, professional. We need to submit your evidence today. Immigration doesn't play games with security allegations. If we wait, you lose any chance at appeal. What if I don't have complete evidence? Then you're on a plane in 2 days. Patterson pauses. Jade, I've reviewed what you submitted to the company last night. It's good, but not sufficient for immigration. They need irrefutable proof you didn't cause the breach. That means complete logs. The full picture. The full picture implicates someone else. Silence on the other end. Patterson's sigh crackles through the phone. Jade, I understand the impulse, but you're facing deportation. You submit partial evidence, you're gone. You submit complete evidence, you stay, and whoever is involved faces review. Those are your options. Then I need a third option. There isn't one. Not in 48 hours. Papers shuffle. Look, I've been doing immigration law for 20 years. I've seen good people make noble choices that destroy them. You can't save everyone, especially at your detriment. The statement hangs in the air. I can survive this, Jade says quietly. I have savings, backup plans, contacts in other countries. David doesn't. Her throat tightens. I won't be the reason that dream ends. Patterson is quiet for a long moment. You're making a mistake, Jade. You have until tomorrow at 5 p.m. to submit evidence. After that, I can't help you. She pauses. For what it's worth, what you're doing is either the most ethical thing I've seen in this profession or the most self-destructive. I genuinely can't tell which. The call ends. She opens the evidence file again, studies every line, looking for a way to thread this needle, proof that clears her without touching David. There isn't one. The logs are interconnected. The timestamps overlap. Submitting enough to clear herself means submitting enough to flag him. Her phone buzzes. David, HR moved my meeting to this afternoon. They're asking about my system access and whether I communicated with you about the breach. Jade, I don't know what to say. I don't want to lie, but I don't want to make things worse for you. She types back. Tell the truth. You did routine maintenance. You did not know about any breach. You and I did not discuss the incident. All technically true. She can give him that much. Then she calls her mother and tells her everything that happened. Her mother gives her one piece of advice: do the right thing and have faith in God. After the call, Jade opens a new document. Begins writing, "Not evidence for immigration, an explanation. A statement for the record that won't save her, but will document exactly what happened." She includes her partial evidence. The logs show Vanessa's credentials and Greg's authorization without touching or diving into David's maintenance window. Proof enough to raise questions, but not enough to clear her completely. At the bottom, she writes, "I am submitting this evidence by choice, not inability. Complete logs would implicate an innocent colleague whose only crime was performing his job adjacent to a coordinated sabotage operation. I will not purchase my freedom with someone else's destruction. If this results in my deportation, I accept that outcome." Jade reads it twice, makes sure every word is exactly what she means. Then she emails it to Patterson with instructions to submit to immigration services. Her phone rings immediately. Patterson. "Are you insane?" No preamble, no professional courtesy. Just raw disbelief. "You just told immigration you're withholding evidence. Jade, this is career suicide, legal suicide. You're handing them grounds to deny any future visa application." "I know what I'm doing." "Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you're throwing away 4 years of work to protect someone who probably won't even remember your name in 5 years. Jade's voice hardens. "Then you're not sitting where I am." She takes a breath. "I'm just tired of being collateral damage in someone else's power grab. This is what they wanted when they framed me. Let them get it. I'll submit this, but Jade, you need to understand, this is it. Once immigration sees you're withholding evidence, they won't give you another chance. No extensions, no appeals. You have 48 hours and then you're gone." "I understand." The call ends. Jade closes her laptop, sits in the coffee shop booth feeling simultaneously lighter and heavier than she's ever felt. She made a choice. Maybe the wrong one. Maybe the only one she could live with. Her phone buzzes. An unknown number that has been sending her anonymous messages ever since the whole charade started. "Your choice gave me everything I needed. Thank you." She stares at the message. Doesn't understand it. Doesn't have the energy to try. Another message from the lawyer. "David Park's interview concluded. No action is being taken at this time. You can breathe." Jade does breathe. Long and shaky and close to sobbing. David is safe. For now. Whatever happens to her, at least that choice was right. She stands, gathers her laptop, walks out of the coffee shop into the afternoon sun that feels less mocking than it did this morning. She has 48 hours left in the country. 48 hours to say goodbye to a life she built from scratch. She drives home, books a flight to Beijing, one way, leaves in 51 hours. Then she starts packing. Not everything, just essentials. The rest can be sold or donated or left behind like ghosts of who she used to be before America taught her that integrity is expensive and sacrifice is currency, and sometimes the right choice feels exactly like defeat. Her phone rings. Patterson again. "Immigration received your submission. They're not happy, but they've confirmed they'll review it before your deadline." A pause. "Jade, I don't know if this helps, but I've been practicing law for 23 years, and I've never seen anyone do what you just did. Most people would have thrown David under the bus without blinking." Patterson's voice softens. "For what it's worth, I hope you land somewhere that deserves you." "Thanks." Jade hangs up. Somewhere across the city, in an office with floor-to-ceiling windows, a man in a wheelchair reviews Jade Lee's submission to immigration services. He reads her statement, her willingness to accept deportation rather than destroy an innocent person. He picks up his phone, makes a call. "It's time," he says. Jade has 36 hours left when the email for an emergency board review arrives. She stares at the email. This meeting is 3 hours before her legal existence in America ends. Patterson calls immediately. "Did you see it?" "Yes." "This is highly unusual. Emergency board meetings don't happen for terminated employees facing deportation. Something's changed. Papers rustle. I'll be there. Don't say anything unless I tell you to. What's the point? I'm leaving in 36 hours. Maybe, but you show up anyway. Look them in the eye. Make them see what they're destroying. Patterson pauses. You deserve that much. Jade arrives at the building at 8:45 a.m. wearing the same suit she wore to her college graduation. The one her parents bought her, the one that was supposed to represent achievement and belonging, and the American dream her father believed in so hard it hurt. Security scans her temporary access badge, waves her through without comment. The elevator ride to the 20th floor feels like ascending toward judgment. She's never been to Conference Room A, never had clearance for the executive floor where decisions that shape lives get made behind mahogany doors. Patterson meets her in the hallway. Sharp suit, leather briefcase, eyes that have seen every corporate betrayal twice. Say nothing unless I tell you to. They're presenting first. Their case against me? Probably. But something's off about this. Emergency board meetings require CEO authorization. Patterson lowers her voice. The CEO has been silent for years. Why would he authorize this now? The conference room doors open. The space is enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. A table that could seat 30. At the far end, a screen displaying her employee photo next to the word investigation in red letters. Greg Morrison sits on the left side, a lawyer beside him, expression carefully arranged into concern. Patricia from HR. The IT. Director. Some board members in expensive suits who look like this meeting is an inconvenience. And at the head of the table, wheelchair positioned with deliberate authority, is the man from the elevator. Jade's breath catches. He's different now. Hair perfectly styled. The suit that cost more than her annual salary used to be. The kind of presence that makes everyone else look like they're playing dress up. Jade stops breathing. Ms. Lee, he says, voice filling the room with effortless command. Please, sit. She sits. Patterson beside her, across from Greg, who suddenly won't meet her eyes. Let's begin. He touches his tablet. The screen changes. I'm Ethan Cole, CEO and majority shareholder of this company. I've been on medical leave for the past 24 months. Greg's face goes white. During my absence, I implemented monitoring protocols, quarterly audits, performance reviews, standard oversight. Ethan's voice is clinical, precise. What I found was concerning. Systems were barely functional, security patches delayed, critical infrastructure held together by... He pauses, looks directly at Jade. People no one was paying attention to. The screen changes, shows Jade's work logs, hundreds of entries, midnight deployments, weekend patches, problems solved before they escalated. 4 years of invisible labor documented in timestamps and authorization codes. 6 months ago, I began a deeper investigation, Ethan continues. Not into any specific employee, but into the company itself. Who kept things running? Who took credit? Who actually understood the systems we rely on? Another screen. Greg's performance reports. Glowing reviews. Executive bonuses. All time-stamped alongside system failures that someone else quietly fixed. Mr. Greg. Ethan's voice drops 20 degrees. Would you like to explain why your performance bonuses coincide with problems you didn't solve? Greg's lawyer starts to speak. Ethan raises one hand. I'm not asking your lawyer. I'm asking you. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. I supervised the responses, Greg says finally. Directed the team. That's management. Is it? Ethan swipes his tablet. The screen shows the falsified report from the night of the breach. This document claims you directed the breach response remotely, that Ms. Lee worked under your supervision to implement your solution. Yes. Were you in the building that night? Greg hesitates. I was monitoring remotely. Were you in the building? Yes, I came in after the evacuation started. Security logs show you re-entered at 7:42 p.m., 5 hours after the breach began, 3 hours after Ms. Lee started containment protocols. Ethan leans forward. So when you say you directed the response, you mean you arrived after she'd already fixed it, copied her solution, and submitted it as your own work. That's not... We have timestamps, Mr. Greg Morrison. Server logs. Security footage of you entering the CRTPM. Conference room, accessing the terminal she'd been using, and uploading your fabricated report. Ethan's voice could cut glass. What we don't have is any evidence you've ever understood the systems you claim to manage. The room is dead silent. Ethan swipes again. The screen shows Vanessa's deactivated credentials, the reactivation signature, Greg's authorization code. 3 weeks ago, you reactivated contractor credentials that had been terminated months prior, VPN access, administrative privileges. He looks at Greg's lawyer. That's not negligence. That's a conspiracy to commit corporate sabotage. Ethan pulls up a new screen. Email threads, text messages, communication logs between Greg and James. James, the venture capital investor with board advisory privileges, contacted you 6 weeks ago. Ethan reads from the screen, quote, if Jade Lee's employment ends for cause, particularly security-related cause, I can guarantee your promotion to senior director and a seat at strategy meetings. End quote. Jade's hands grip the armrests. You responded. Ethan continues. What kind of cause? James replied. The kind where foreign workers prove their security risks. The board members shift uncomfortably. That's when you contacted Vanessa Winters, Ms. Lee's former friend, who had both technical knowledge and personal motivation. Ethan swipes through more messages. You reactivated her credentials. She planted malicious code using techniques Ms. Lee had taught her. The breach was designed to be elegant enough to look sophisticated, but obvious enough to trace, directly to Jade's workstation. He pulls up Vanessa's viral video. The word aggressive landed exactly as intended. Then, Ethan pulls up the secondary trigger Jade discovered. The malicious code included a dormant component designed to activate in 72 hours, creating ongoing instability. He turns to Jade, really looks at her for the first time since the meeting began. Ms. Lee discovered this secondary trigger, neutralized it, documented everything, then made a choice that confirmed everything I needed to know. She submitted partial evidence to immigration services, Ethan continues. Evidence that proved sabotage but protected an innocent colleague whose credentials appeared in adjacent logs. She accepted her own deportation rather than destroy someone who'd done nothing wrong. He pulls up Jade's statement to immigration. That decision gave me exactly what I needed. Proof that some people still choose integrity under impossible pressure. Confirmation that this company had at least one person worth fighting for. Ethan presses a button. The conference room doors open. Police officers enter, followed by federal agents. Gregory Morrison, you're terminated effective immediately. Additionally, the company is filing criminal charges for corporate sabotage, fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy. An officer steps forward. These agents will take your statement. Greg's lawyer tries to object, but Greg is escorted out, face gray, hands shaking. The doors close. James has been removed from all board advisory positions, Ethan continues. His investment stake remains, but he has no operational authority. Legal is pursuing civil action for tortious interference and conspiracy to commit fraud. He turns to Patricia and the IT director. You both are suspended pending review. You weaponized a visa status to eliminate an employee without conducting an actual investigation. If the review confirms you prioritize convenience over truth, you're done. They leave without a word. The room empties until only Ethan, Jade, Patterson and 2 board members remain. Ms. Lee, Ethan's voice softens slightly. I owe you an apology. This company failed you. I failed you by leaving it in the hands that weren't capable of holding it. The corruption, the sabotage, the weaponization of your visa status, that happened on my watch. You were here, Jade says quietly. In the elevator. You knew. I suspected, but suspicion isn't proof. You said that day, without proof, it's all assumptions and patterns. He pauses, then slides documents across the table. Emergency visa sponsorship through the company's legal team. Affidavits clearing you of all wrongdoing. Retraction of HR's false security report. Immigration services have been notified. Your work authorization is reinstated immediately. Jade stares at the papers, at the signatures, at the legal language that translates to, you're safe now. David Park's logs have been cleared separately, Ethan continues. He was never in danger. I had our legal team document his innocence the moment I saw his name in the investigation. He'll never know how close this came to touching him. Patterson squeezes Jade's shoulder. Your position is being restored, Ethan says. Senior architect with a 30% salary increase, back pay for the days you were suspended, and an official apology from the board for our oversight failures. The board members nod. You also have a choice. Ethan wheels back slightly. You can stay. Build the infrastructure this company desperately needs. Help me rebuild something worth keeping. Or you can leave. Take a severance package that reflects what you're owed and never look back. He holds her gaze. Either way, you're clear. Your record is clean. Your visa is secure. Your future is yours. Jade doesn't move. Can't process. The vindication feels surreal. I'm not asking for an answer now, Ethan says quietly. Take time. Think about what you want, what you deserve. His eyes hold hers. You don't owe this company anything. You don't owe me anything. The only person you owe is yourself. Jade looks at the documents, then at Ethan Cole, who could have intervened months ago but chose to watch and wait for proof, and wait until someone proved they were worth saving. Why didn't you stop it sooner? Her voice sounds hollow. If you knew Greg was corrupt, if you saw the patterns, why let it get this bad? Ethan doesn't flinch. Because systems don't fail overnight. They rot from the inside. I needed to identify the rot completely before cutting it out. He pauses. That's not an excuse. It's an explanation, and it cost you more than it should have. I can't possibly explain how sorry I am for putting you through this. It cost me everything. No, he says gently. It revealed the kind of person you are. There's a difference. There has always been since you fixed a server crash at 3 a.m. on Christmas Eve. No one asked you to. No one would have known if you hadn't. But you did it anyway. Jade stands, then she takes the documents. I need time. Take all you need, he replies. She walks toward the door. Patterson follows. Outside, Patterson walks her to the elevator. Call me if you need anything. She hesitates. Jade, I've never seen Ethan Cole apologize to anyone. You made an impression. The elevator doors close. Jade rides down holding documents that restore a life she thought was gone, mind spinning through vindication and the creeping suspicion that being seen, really seen, is more terrifying than being invisible ever was. Her phone buzzes. David's text reads, HR just told me everything's cleared. I don't know what happened, but thank you for everything. Jade doesn't respond. She can't find words to respond with. The elevator opens. She walks into sunlight that feels different from the way it did yesterday. She has a choice now. Stay or leave. Trust or run. The question is which one feels more like freedom. Jade takes 3 days to think about Ethan's offer. On the 4th day, she declines. Patterson helps her negotiate a severance package that's more than fair and a recommendation letter that will open doors across 3 continents. Then Jade books a flight to Singapore. She spends 6 weeks consulting for a fintech startup that's hemorrhaging data faster than it can acquire customers, fixes their infrastructure, builds security protocols that actually work, leaves them stable and profitable. Then Tokyo, then Berlin, then Toronto. 18 months disappear into airports and hotel rooms and conference calls at 3 a.m. Jade builds a reputation one system at a time. Quiet, competent. The person you call when everything's on fire and you need someone who won't panic. She stops straightening her hair somewhere around month 6. She lets her natural curls breathe. She stops wearing foundation 2 shades too light. Stops performing respectability for people who never deserve the performance. She doesn't return Ethan's emails. There are 17 of them. Professional, respectful, asking nothing. Offering updates on the company's restructuring. New security protocols. The team she would have led if she'd stayed. She reads everyone and responds to none. Her visa transfers to independent consulting status. She establishes an LLC, hires an accountant, builds something that belongs entirely to her. The viral proposal video eventually dies, gets buried under newer humiliations, fresher scandals. She stops checking her mentions, stops caring what strangers think about a version of herself that never existed. In month 14, Vanessa's engagement ends. Quietly, no press release, just a conspicuous absence of wedding planning posts and a diamond ring that disappears from Instagram. Jade sees it, feels nothing, deletes the app. By month 17, she's built a consulting practice worth 7 figures, has clients across 3 continents, could work anywhere, live anywhere, be anyone. The offer arrives on a Tuesday morning. Email from Patterson and Lee Legal, still her attorney, though she pays the retainer herself now. Coal Industries requests a proposal for a comprehensive security infrastructure overhaul. External consulting engagement. Duration, 6 months. Compensation, negotiable. They asked for you specifically. Jade stares at the email for 10 minutes. She doesn't need Coal Industries, doesn't need their validation or their money, or their complicated CEO who watched her break and decided she was worth testing. But something in her wants to see it. The company she almost destroyed herself protecting. The systems she knows better than anyone. She wants to see what they built without her. She replies to Patterson, "Send me the proposal terms." 3 weeks later, Jade walks into Coal Industries headquarters wearing a suit that costs more than her entire old wardrobe. Natural curls framing her face. Skin that finally matches her foundation. Carrying a tablet loaded with analysis that will either impress them or end the engagement before it begins. The lobby is different. New furniture. Better lighting. A receptionist who smiles and says, "Ms. Lee, they're expecting you in conference room A." No security escort. No visitor badge screaming outsider. Just professional courtesy and a passcode that grants her executive floor access. The elevator ride feels like time travel. Conference room A is less intimidating at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Sunlight streaming through windows. Coffee station in the corner. 5 people around the table. A new IT director, head of security, 2 board members, and Ethan Cole. He looks good. Rested. Hair slightly longer. Same wheelchair. Same expensive watch. Same eyes that see too much. "Ms. Lee." He doesn't stand. He can't. But the acknowledgement in his voice carries weight. "Thank you for considering this. Mr. Cole." She sits 3 seats down, equal distance from everyone. "I've reviewed your current infrastructure. We should talk about why it's failing." No preamble, no small talk. Straight to work. Something flickers in Ethan's expression. Approval, maybe. Or recognition. The meeting lasts 2 hours. Jade presents her analysis, pulls no punches, Their security protocols are adequate but not innovative. Their team is competent but undertrained. They've fixed the corruption but not the culture that enabled it. You need a complete overhaul, she concludes. Not just systems, people, processes, the way decisions get made and who gets heard when they see problems. The IT director shifts uncomfortably. That's ambitious. That's necessary. Jade meets Ethan's eyes. You wanted the best analysis. This is it. You can implement it or ignore it. Either way, you'll know exactly what needs to change. Ethan's smile is small, genuine. When can you start? I'll send a revised proposal by Friday. If terms are acceptable, 2 weeks. They negotiate. Scope, timeline, deliverables. Jade's rates are triple what they paid her as an employee. No one flinches. The meeting ends. People file out. Ethan lingers, reviewing something on his tablet. Jade gathers her materials, heads for the door. Jade. She stops, turns. He's never used her first name before. Yes? I'm glad you came back. I'm not back. I'm consulting. I know. He wheels slightly closer. That's what makes it matter. You don't need us. You're here because you chose to be. She doesn't respond, doesn't trust herself to. There's a tech innovation summit next month, Ethan says. Industry leaders, venture capital, emerging companies. Coal Industries is sponsoring a panel on cybersecurity. I'd like you to speak. I don't do public speaking. You do now. Your reputation precedes you. People want to hear from the consultant who fixed Tokyo's fintech crisis in 3 weeks. Jade's eyebrow lifts. You've been tracking my work. I told you. I pay attention. The air between them shifts, becomes something more than professional. Not quite personal, but adjacent to it. I'll think about it, Jade says. That's all I ask. The proposal gets finalized. Terms accepted. Jade returns with a team. 3 contractors she's worked with across continents. All brilliant, all discreet. The overhaul begins. She's there 3 days a week. Sometimes 4. Rebuilding systems. Training staff. Implementing protocols that will outlast any individual's tenure. David Park is thriving. Got promoted to team lead. Sees her in the hallway in week 3 and almost trips over his own feet. Jade, Ms. Lee, I didn't know you were consulting here. Just for 6 months. She smiles. How's the team? Good, really good. We've been using your protocols. He stops. Thank you for everything. I know I never properly said it. You didn't need to. She means it. Keep doing good work. That's enough, thanks. He walks away smiling. In week 7, Jade is reviewing server logs in a temporary office when her assistant knocks. Ms. Lee, someone is requesting a meeting. Mr. James Deere. Jade's blood goes cold. Tell him I'm unavailable. He says it's about a business opportunity, and he insists it's urgent. She closes her laptop, then takes a breath. 5 minutes. James looks different. Thinner, tired around the eyes, an expensive suit that doesn't quite fit right. He stands when she enters, his smile uncertain, eyes taking in every part of her body. Jade, wow, you look amazing. She doesn't sit. You have 3 minutes. I'm launching a startup, AI-driven fitness analytics, revolutionary market approach. I need technical consulting for infrastructure, and I thought... He stops, recalculates. We could work together. Your expertise, my vision. Your proposal has 3 critical technical errors in the executive summary alone. Jade's voice is clinical, surgical. Your AI model assumes data sets that don't account for genetic variation. Your infrastructure plan requires server capacity you can't afford. Your market analysis ignores 4 established competitors who already dominate your target space. James's smile fractures. I haven't even shown you. You didn't have to. I reviewed your pitch deck before agreeing to this meeting. She checks her watch. His face flushes. Jade, come on. We have history. We have nothing. She walks to the door, pauses, turns back. For the record, James, I weighed 142 because I was disciplined, because I took care of myself, because I was capable of commitment. Her voice doesn't rise, doesn't need to. You never controlled anything about me. You just convinced yourself you did. There's a difference. She leaves him standing there, returns to her office, closes the door, sits down, breathes. The knock comes 10 minutes later. Ethan's voice. May I? It's your building. He wheels inside, closes the door. I saw Mr. James in the lobby, leaving. He wanted investment advice. Ethan is quiet for a moment. I would have had security remove him if you'd asked. I didn't need security. Jade meets his eyes. I needed 3 minutes to end something that should have ended years ago. And did you? End it? Comprehensively. His smile is small, proud almost. Good. The silence stretches. Not uncomfortable. Something else. The summit is next week, Ethan says. I still need a speaker for the cybersecurity panel. I accepted yesterday. Patterson forwarded the contract. I know. I signed it this morning. He wheels closer to her desk. There's dinner afterward. Industry networking. Usually insufferable, but occasionally useful. Are you asking me to attend a work dinner? I'm asking if you'd like to have dinner. The networking's optional. Jade's pulse kicks. Mr. Cole? After 18 months and a complete infrastructure overhaul, I think we can use first names. Ethan, she corrects. I'm your consultant. Professional boundaries exist for reasons. They do, he agrees. But consulting engagements end. This one has 4 months left. After that, you're free to accept or decline dinner invitations based on personal preference rather than professional ethics. Assuming I want to. Assuming you want to. He holds her gaze. No pressure, no expectations. Just a question with an answer that doesn't affect our working relationship either way. Jade leans back, studies him, the man who watched her break, who tested her, who gave her space to rebuild herself entirely before suggesting anything beyond professional respect. Ask me again in 4 months. I will. He wheels toward the door, pauses at the threshold. For what it's worth, Jade. What you've built, your practice, your reputation, your independence. It's extraordinary. You didn't need coal industries to become who you are. You just needed people to stop standing in your way. Is that what you think you did? Step aside? No. His voice is quiet. I think I gave you evidence that you were right about yourself all along. The rest was always yours. He leaves. Jade sits in the temporary office that will be hers for 4 more months. Looks out at the city where she almost lost everything. Where she learned the difference between being saved and saving yourself. 4 months from now, Ethan will ask her to dinner. Maybe she'll say yes. Maybe she'll say no. Maybe she'll suggest coffee instead because dinner feels too scripted. Either way, it will be her choice, her terms. Her life is shaped by decisions that serve her, not by fear of what she'll lose if she chooses wrong. 4 months and 3 days later, Jade sends the final project deliverables at 6:47 p.m. on a Friday. The infrastructure overhaul is complete. Documentation filed, training deployed. Her contract officially ends at midnight. She's packing her temporary office when Ethan appears in the doorway. Hungry? He asks. No preamble, no corporate pleasantries. Just the question he promised. Jade closes her laptop. Starving. They don't go somewhere expensive. No Michelin stars or photographers. Ethan takes her to a small Italian place in Chinatown where the pasta is handmade and the owner's grandmother yells at everyone in Cantonese. They sit by the window. Talk about everything except work. I was terrified, she admits, twirling pasta. When you first offered me that choice, stay or leave, part of me wondered if you saw me as a project, the brilliant black girl you could rescue and feel good about. Ethan's face tightens. Did it feel like that? No. She squeezes his hand across the table. That's why I came back. You saw me, not what saving me would say about you. He reaches across the table, doesn't take her hand, just rests his palm near hers. An offer, an invitation. Jade slides her hand into his. They walk afterward. Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, tourists everywhere. But somehow it feels like they're alone. The city glows around them, lights reflecting off water, cars honking, life continuing. Ethan stops mid-bridge, wheels to face her. I'm going to kiss you now, he says, if that's okay. Jade's smile is genuine, unguarded. That's okay. He reaches up. She leans down. Their lips meet somewhere in the middle, equals choosing each other without rescue or debt or complicated history, except the one they built together. The kiss tastes like possibility, like choosing power instead of accepting love as consolation. Like two people who've learned the difference between being seen and being understood. When they pull apart, the city is still there, still loud, still indifferent. I want, Jade says carefully, to see where this goes. No promises, no expectations, just a possibility. I can work with possibility. They kiss again, longer this time. The kind of kiss that says beginning instead of ending. Behind them, the city continues. Joggers pass. Someone plays saxophone badly near the Manhattan side. Jade pulls back, rests her forehead against his. Thank you. For what? For waiting, for seeing me, for letting me choose this. Always, Ethan promises, and she believes him, and they walk back to the car. To my wonderful audience who made it up to this point, I would like to know, if someone sees your worth when you're at your lowest, tests it, waits for you to claim it yourself, do they deserve credit for your transformation? Or were they just the first person brave enough to stop standing in your way? And when you finally choose love after choosing yourself first, is that compromise or evolution? If this story made you feel something, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me which moment hit hardest. Share this with someone who needs to hear that their worth isn't determined by who sees it. It exists whether anyone's watching or not. Like this video if you believe the best love stories start with choosing yourself first. See you in the next video.